Hey there guys, in this video we're going to be going to Catastrophe to use A2 for an all mission clear. Some of you have asked me to use her, so we're going to do it. So I used some tickets on the near banner this week, got myself another A2, which brought her all the way to EX3. So we are good to go to use her on trial content. This is the party we're going to use, pretty classic Catastrophe clear. Wilk's going to help chip in some damage as well. And we're going to go for, hopefully, a quicker clear than the last time I did this. So we're going to start Ash in the base for auto cover, go to the shift, and use her LB for all the good buffs it does. A2 is going to do Inorganic and Double Finisher. That's going to be a light in peril and all that. Wilk is going to do Quake Blade. And we're going to use Tsukiko to shift here and do Quicksand and double Solar Flare. Now we're going to go ahead and chain all this up, but it's not really going to deal much damage. This is mostly just a setup turn because we're going to be killing on turn 6. I tried to do a turn 5 clear, and with perfect variance, it could probably work, but it was kind of tight. Turn 6 is a lot more reliable, so we're going to be doing a turn 6 clear. Alright, so now we're going to use Ash to do the big killer buff, and I'm going to give it to my A2, because thankfully, she is equally geared to the friend this time. We're going to do the LBs of A2 this time. Wilk is going to Vengeance, but first we're going to go to the base form with Tsukiko and do all that light stuff. So Blessed, Consecration, and Mandala Light. Now, we're not going to get too far off track with me complaining about A2's frames again, but I am going to point out briefly the biggest reason I dislike these delayed frames. We have to click our breaker before A2 or they won't get the 90 break. And because of that, we can't weave Wilk into the Extreme Nova. If A2 was a proper Extreme Nova on the LB, Wilk would weave in and they would all chain together. So we're going to click them all at the same time. Wilk is going to be clicked first. But notice how Wilk goes. We're still waiting on A2 and there A2 goes. Because it's a delayed frame, we can't weave them in, and that's why I dislike these goofy delayed frames. But like I said, we're not really going to get off track complaining about A2 like I've done in the past. So now we're going to use the SLB of A2s, but thankfully, because we don't have to preemptively put any breaks up or anything, we can just send them first this time. So we're going to go ahead and put Wilk to the base and triple bolting to refill his LB. We'll triple solar with Tsukiko, and we're going to go to the base form with Ash and Nethicite here. So now we're going to send the A2s first because their SLB is super slow. Then we're going to send these guys and build the chain, and then their SLB can come in and like weave into it. And there we go, decent chunk of damage. So this turn is going to be the Dispel, but we're Nethicited it, so that's fine, no big deal. Alright. Ash is going to go back to the shift form, and we're going to give the big killer to my A2 again. Sorry, Kasumi, it's all for me. Wilk will go to the shift form again. We're going to Quake Blade. We're going to just triple finisher the A2s, but like I said, we're going to be killing on turn 6. So we're going to be doing all the setup next turn. And then we'll just triple Solar Flare with these guys. So we'll go ahead and just chain all this up. A little bit of damage here. And because we have the SL2 buff, or I'm sorry, the SL2, the SLB buff. Oh, by the way, we lost Tsukiko intentionally. I did not want any mitigation because I wanted Tsukiko to die there and re-raise. That way we're not like losing turns of her being berserked. She can keep helping. But she did die, so we're going to go ahead and do the LB of Ash to rebuff Tsukiko and the rest of the party. And now we're going to do Yorha and Double Finisher as we get ready to burst real hard next turn. Wilk will do Vengeance, and Tsukiko will shift here and we'll do Karmic. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and chain this up. And I was saying something about A2, but I forgot what it was. Oh yeah, I was just saying that now we have A2's SLB modifier buff, so her chaining is doing a decent chunk more damage. Anyway, here's some more attacks. Again, you know, Tsukiko is provoking, etc., etc. So now we're going to go ahead and once again give the big buff to my A2. We're going to now do Hateful Blade and close out this fight. So Hateful Blade, Wilk, go back to the base form, triple bolting, and we'll triple bolting with Tsukiko. And we're going to send the top 2 people first to build the chain modifier. That way the chain is at full modifier when we send in our A2s. So we'll go ahead and send this. Then we'll go ahead and bring these in. And that should be the end of the fight. Nice all mission clear. And boom, done. All missions. We did it in party of 5 or less, no items, and 15 turns or less. That was a turn 6 clear. Turn 5 is potentially possible. I tried it a few times, with different rotation, doing all the big burst on turn 5, and the boss would get to like 5% health. Maybe with good variance, a turn 5 clear is doable, but I didn't want to spend all day farming variance on Catastrophe. The turn 6 clear is very, very reliable. If you're as geared as well as I am, we're doing pretty good gear here. Anyway, the party is Ash in both base form and shift form are using 400 Earth Resist, Petrify Immunity, Autofill with Dragon's Brush, Pause of Prosperity, and Call of the Wild. And there we go, and then a Resistance card. My A2 is 10,403 attack power, Titus STMR, so we get that modifier boost on turn 2 and turn 3. Status immunity with Moonshade because we need Petrify immunity or we get petrified. Other than that, Greatsword build because we're not using anyone that imperil katanas. The Dark Visions katana is way better, but you need someone to imperil it, which we're not bringing on this clear, so Greatswords. And then there we go. There's the setup, her own card, and she is maxed on everything. Tsukiko in the base form is using Death Immunity, Passive Provoke, Auto Amplify to Light, Charm Immunity, and we didn't actually Nethicite with her, so ignore that Nethicite. Shift form is damage, but again, Passive Provoke even in the shift form. So Dancer's Diadem for Passive Provoke, Quirrell's Floaty for Charm Immunity, Vermilion Flag for Death Immunity, and she's naturally Petrify Immunity because she's provoking the entire fight. And she intentionally dies and re-raises on turn 4 because the Berserk is a fixed attack, and if it kills you, you'll re-raise and the Berserk is gone, and you can help chain some more. It's useful. Wilk, both forms are this build. We did Auto Bravery for that was a total waste. As an old strategy, whatever. You don't need that. And then his own card. And then he was the Breaker and a Chainer. He's a little awkward to use, but we made it work. And then here's Kasumi, I think the exact same build. The only problem with Kasumi's build is Kasumi puts his weapon in the left hand, and that drives me insane. So it's just an OCD thing. The weapon should always be on the other slot, but it still worked out, and we got it done. And like his build is literally identical to mine. So there it is. And we'll see the damage breakdown, and because, I kind of gave my A2 the big buff every time, it is a single target buff, only one can get it. I'm assuming my A2 will deal higher damage, but then again, variance is a thing, so even without the big buff, maybe Kasumi beat me, we'll see. Nope, gotcha. And then Tsukiko did some chip-in damage. Wilk did a little bit of damage as the Breaker. And there it is. There's an all-mission 6-turn clear on Catastrophe. Could have been 5 turns, but it's very, very tight on variance to do it in 5 turns with this party. You could also add like another DPS unit and do it really quick. Like, add a 2B, swap the A2s to using the Dark Visions katana, and you can probably get it in like 4 turns. Maybe? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll play with that later. Anyway, there it is. See you next time.